Well, last time we were about to talk about Aisha radiallahu anha.
Again, you want to talk about why you always want to talk about her?
So I wanted to know, show me in the Bible where they draw the line for marriage
Very
with the
easy.
kid.
Ezekiel 16 verses 6 to 8 and 1 Corinthians 7:36. So you should never challenge me. I've already done the homework. Ezekiel 16 verses 6 to 8 and 1 Corinthians 7:36 says that a woman is only marriageable when she's post-pubescent, when she's gone beyond puberty. So you didn't want to ask me that because you see, you embarrass yourself. And not only that, we go to the early church and they condemn intimacy with youth. So I showed you, but can you show me that in the Quran? But you can't. Because
I think you mixed it up
4.
because you didn't show me anything.
You
But
want to bet? I just mentioned the verses. If I
no,
open up
no.
the verses,
But last time we didn't even talk about it last time.
but right now I did. I just
Yeah,
told
yeah,
you.
okay, yeah, sure.
Even let's say the Bible did not say it. Okay, but the Quran, let's just assume I didn't have any verses that point to the fact that a woman has to be post-pubescent, mature physiologically and emotionally. Let's say I didn't have that. But the Quran is supposed to be the perfect revelation and a message for all generations until the end. You believe Allah is God and He cares for all His creatures and He's merciful to women and children. The very least, your Quran should protect young girls from having intercourse before the time because it does irreparable physiological and psychological damage. So even if the Bible didn't say it, forget about the Bible. You're telling me the Quran is a message for all mankind. The Bible is corrupt. It was only for the Jews and Jesus only came from the Jews. Why doesn't your God have something superior?
Well, again, it's kind of a contradiction what you just said because you just told me I believe that the Bible was. I don't believe that this. I believe that it was corrupted. So I don't even think that this was God's words.
Yeah,
So you
even though the
can't.
Quran doesn't say it's corrupted, but I just granted that argument for you. Okay, the Bible's corrupt, put it aside. Why then the Quran doesn't come with something better?
Okay, well, I mean, so your question was why didn't God reveal some?
Because He knows the body better than we do, right? And He cares for children. Then the first thing He should have done was legislate to protect children from bodily and psychological damage, but He didn't.
Well, you can't compare like at the time. You can't compare it to now.
Buddy, you didn't even hear what I just said. This way.
No, I heard.
It was the Quran only for that time, or is it for all generations?
No, right. It's for, well, this is where I have to do some explaining. So, age is something that is static, but the development of a person regarding his age, it changes over time.
There is no scientific studies to show that people in the 7th century matured faster than girls today. In fact, it should be the opposite because today, living in Western cultures, because of the advancement in medicine and food, it's the opposite, right? We would have girls maturing faster now than back then because of the vitamins and all the food and nutrients that children today have that they didn't have back then. It's actually the opposite. They would mature faster now than then. That's not going to work, buddy.
Well, mentally they didn't. Well, I know you were talking about
Mentally, they didn't back then?
No, mentally they were like more mature like back then.
Okay, so when your hadith say that Aisha was playing with dolls, how mature was she?
Yeah, but see, you're talking about dolls because of the American perspective of like little boys and
Islam forbids the images.
yeah, and there has been a dispute over whether her dolls have a face or not. Ibn Hajar, he had the opinion that the dolls had a face. Other scholars.
Ibn Hajar, the same person you quoted, said Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani says the reason why Aisha was allowed to play with dolls because she hadn't reached puberty. But when she reached puberty, she stopped. And you know how old was she when she stopped playing with dolls? According to Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, I have it. She was 14. So he admits she hadn't reached puberty till 14.
I don't know.
You appealed to him. I didn't appeal to him.
Yeah, and no, I didn't appeal. I said that this was his opinion. I never said I support this.
His opinion was Aisha was only allowed to play with dolls because she hadn't reached puberty, whether there was a face or not. But put that aside. He's saying she was allowed to play with dolls because she hadn't reached puberty. When she reached puberty, she didn't play with dolls anymore. And then he assigns the time of her puberty where she stopped playing with dolls around the age of 14. So it backfired against you. He's admitting she wasn't pubescent from 9 to 14. But you see, you're actually trying to justify this when my point was, since this message is for all people to the end of the age, why does Allah then ignore the fact that okay, maybe some people thought it was okay today, but it's still harmful and damaging. And I'm not just concerned for people today, I'm concerned for all people to the end of the age. So I want to protect girls from now till the Dajjal and Isa return, because he knows everything, right? So why didn't he protect them? Why did he allow it to happen until now in modern times? Muslims are embarrassed after this say, well, now times are different, so we shouldn't marry prepubescent girls. Well, okay, that's an illegal opinion. but that's not Quran or Sunnah. So you have to set aside the Quran and Sunnah because of embarrassment and pressure from these Western societies that are actually all kuffar. So you're kowtowing to the kuffar. Why?
So if we look at outside of America, because this argument actually, if you look back at it, back at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, no one brought this argument towards him. No one brought it.
No, they did. Abu
Oh,
Bakr complained, and then they complained when Omar Abu Bakr asked for Fatima's hand in marriage. You know what your Prophet told him? I have the hadith.
yeah, she's too young.
Say it again.
She's too young. She
How
was
old was
like
Fatima?
10 or something. I forgot.
Wow. I love you because you're honest. So Fatima, who's around 10, 11, Muhammad said she's too young for Abu Bakr and Umar, and they weren't even as old as Muhammad when he married Aisha. So what do you mean they didn't complain? Here your Prophet complained, no, she's too young for you. So why was Fatima too young for Abu Bakr and Fatima, but Aisha wasn't too young for Muhammad?
Well, maybe, I don't know. I might say something stupid. Maybe because like mental intelligence, whose was
And
more mature.
Aisha was mentally mature playing with dolls and on swings. What about
Okay, but I wanted to know of the enemies of Islam until the last.
Why would I need the enemies of Islam when I have Muhammad's companions and Muhammad himself? You don't have anyone better than him telling you 10, 11 is too young. He said it. What about Ali and Kulthum? What did Ali say to Umar?
I don't know.
She's too young for you. And he says, no, she's not. I just gave you two examples where they're recognizing, oh, these girls are too young. But then at the same time, by saying that, they're going against the Quran because the Quran doesn't set an age limit. But beyond that, why did Abu Bakr say to Muhammad when he said, I want to marry Aisha, but we are brothers? What was his complaint? He said, but we are brothers, as in Bukhari. He said, wait, but we're brothers. He was shocked. Wait, but you're my brother. Yes, we are brothers, but she's lawful for me. Why would he even object? Why would he say, but we're brothers? Where did Islam say that if you're spiritual brothers, you can't marry one another's daughters? That means Abu Bakr was troubled by that.
Can you? I've never heard about this narration.
Oh, yeah. I'll show it to you. You sound intelligent and you're trying to be honest. How you want to justify this, I don't know. Here, Sahih Bukhari, Volume 7, Book 62, Hadith 18. Narrate Urwa, the Prophet asked Abu Bakr for Aisha's hand in marriage. Abu Bakr said, but I'm your brother. The Prophet said, yes. Said, you are my brother in Allah's religion in his book, but she is lawful for me to marry. Why was he upset and why did he react that way?
I don't know. I've never. It's my first time seeing that.
Yeah, they're not going to show you this. So that's not true that no one had a problem with it. Abu Bakr had a problem with it. And then Muhammad had a problem with Abu Bakr and Umar wanting to marry his daughter Fatima. And then Ali had a problem with Umar wanting to marry Kulthum. And yet Umar and Abu Bakr were younger than Muhammad when they wanted to marry Fatima, when Muhammad married Aisha. So it's okay for him to do it, but they couldn't do it for his daughter.
At the same time, well, I mean, you're not going to believe that, obviously, but the Prophet, he only married people because of he received revelations.
Come on, boy.
Okay, obviously, you're not
God
going to believe
is
that.
the all-merciful God. He's not going to give a man a dream of a child to marry, because I know it says he had a dream where Gabriel showed him Aisha. That to us is not from God. We would say that's demonic.